Now, on another note, Israeli officials finally confirming that the next state attorney general will be Gali Baharav-Miara, and Miara therefore set to be the first woman attorney general in Israel's history. But who exactly is she? Former Deputy Attorney General Yehuda Shaffer with the analysis. Thank you so much for being with us, Yehuda. Now, are you excited by the news of Gali's appointment?
Yes, she's an excellent jurist. I worked with her for many years. Her background is civil and administrative and not criminal, which is quite surprising for such an appointment, and might be hinting that the next move of the Justice Minister will be to separate the position, which is today called the Government Legal Consultant Council, which is actually the Attorney General and the State Advocate or Solicitor General with a different name. Different countries have different names for these positions, and separate them into two: one focusing on the criminal aspects and one focusing on the civil and administrative aspects. In the past, I thought that was a bad idea because it was coming from people who were, and the motivation for these suggestions were negative. We're trying to weaken the rule of law in Israel, but I don't think that's the situation now. I think Mr. Saar, our Justice Minister, is well intended in this case, right. And we have to wait and see what the suggestions will be. In any case, she is just been appointed, and of course has this hot potato on her table, and we'll have to start acting immediately because clearly we need some immediate investigations.
You said that you've worked with her in the past. There have been several allegations of discrepancies in her application process, though, saying that her references maybe don't match up, or that some of the people she referenced that she had worked with or that could give credence to her qualifications had never worked with her, or that she had never come before her court or their court. How do you respond?
I have not seen the material. She was thrown into the very deep water today because on her table, as I was saying before, she has this NSO scandal issue, which for now,
and not just NSO, and not just NSO. I mean, let's
just remember for now, it's mostly allegations from a newspaper that happens to be owned by one of the defendants in the trial. So let's be cautious here. I doubt very much if any of this police misconduct actually affected the investigation of Netanyahu, and I would be totally surprised if the advocates, the state advocates that were handling the case, that are handling the case, were exposed to any of this, and I'm sure they were not. So we have to see what the context will actually be, and we need we have somebody new now as the Attorney General to actually lead this, and I hope.
So as you've insinuated, though, again, more to the things that are on her plate. Many are concerned about how Baharav-Miara will oversee high-profile cases that are left over from Mandelblat's tenure. Among them, of course, is NSO, and whether she will work towards a plea agreement with Netanyahu, and of course, what such a deal might even look like if she goes for it. Do you think that she would go for that? Do her politics even matter, in your opinion? Mandelblit, for example, is obviously the one who indicted Netanyahu to begin with, despite being appointed by Netanyahu and being seen for a long time as his confidant.
These decisions, surprisingly to maybe the decision if to have a plea bargain with Netanyahu will be professional only, meaning that it's not unheard of to lesser the charges from bribery to breach of trust. But I'm sure that this will not be done without insisting that Netanyahu please to facts that will substantiate corruption, will substantiate the fact that he dealt and assisted Alowitz with regulatory concessions while knowing him and while receiving things from him, which I frankly don't see Netanyahu admitting to in any way. So I think the prospects of a plea bargain were never really on the table because Netanyahu will never admit to that, in my view.
All right, Yehuda Shaffer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
ILTV Plus, your news from Israel and more 24/7. Start your free trial today. Subscribe at iltv.tv and watch from any device.